good morning, YouTube viewers, good morning, Facebook Nation, good morning to all people, all colors, all races, all languages around the world, men, women, children, no matter where you are, may you have the best day. Now you understand how my greeting works, because my greeting reaches out to everyone, because we're all being played against one another. You know, and I want to stay on topic with the 18-year-old. This is the mind of a killer. And we look at him to say he's a killer. But this man, this 18-year-old man, is not a killer. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. But he's only a victim. Just as well as the victims that he put in harm's way and he did what he did, they were all victims, because they were all being, well, he was being manipulated. He was manipulated to carry something out. His ideologies were not only were they not rejected, but they were encouraged, and they were also supported, maybe even financially supported. So when we live in a world like this, you know, the stupidity behind what's taking place between black and white is that there's so many other nations. If you go into a corner store, you don't see black people owning them. If you go into these neighborhoods where you're seeing these homes, most of these homes you're not seeing black people in them. You're either Asian, they're either Middle Eastern, or they're European. So, you know, the reasons that they hate, you have to say to yourself, it's more than just that. It's more than just hate. Because like I said, they're willing to, these extremists are the same extremists that are willing to go and pay every week, put $150 worth of gas in their tanks from these individuals from color. But yet still, they blame us for handing that money to someone who's not even black. You know, and like I said, you know, you're lying about our history. So this is where we all have to wake up, because the lie is being exposed, and most of us, they're diverting our attention so that we can't see what they're really doing. But they've done so much now that so many people, not just black, but white and everyone else. That's why I say it's not about race. People from all walks of life are waking up to say, hey, we've all been played against one another, and we need to start listening to these people. You know, we're running on negative energy, and the negative energy that we run on is when we hear someone talking negatively, we all tune in. We all want to be the first to bash. So that's the support that this kid got. Same support that this kid got, where he was sitting back talking what he was talking, and everybody that was sitting there listening to him, oh, he's harmless, but he's telling the truth, and that's the way I feel, and you're right, and you're right, and you're right, and you go do that. That's what they deserve. You know, not thinking, oh, once it happened, that, oh, I didn't know that he was going to do that. You know, so you're to blame for it. You people out there, and anyone, like I say, in his city that knows you're responsible, that he came in contact. You're the one that gave him the bullets. You're the ones that gave him the gun. Because it's up to us to be the adults. It's your law that you gave to us to say that we're supposed to be the adult. Therefore, we're being held responsible. But that same responsible and accountability doesn't apply to your own. And it goes with another video that I did yesterday in condolences, where I said that even in the face of what took place, Black Lives Matter can't even be a dent in this. Oh yeah, that's right. They're on the West Coast. They all got new mansions, by the way. So you know that doesn't tell you what world we're living in. And the thing about it is that you know there's no half-staff flags or anything else like that going on in this country. And this was a terrorist attack. Think about that. This was a terrorist attack. Oh, they say it's domestic. It's still terrorist attack, because he's linked with somebody. They're not going to expose that, because, like I said, this is a program, and that program is going to run. And like I said, for people like on Facebook that sat there and listened to what was being said, and you see they did nothing about it. But yet and still now, if that's you or me, and especially me, like what I speak on YouTube, I'm shadow banned. I'm shadow banned. They don't even allow my videos to get out. So if you're not subscribed, most people wouldn't even know that I exist, because they don't put it out there. They don't want truth out there. But yet and still, they allow this person. Didn't they just have hearings not too long ago about Zuckerberg and about these terroristic threats and all this stuff being on there, and that they had made these changes? Didn't they go into the Senate? Why isn't he being held accountable? Why isn't he now being arrested? Because you lied about what you said. Because you continue to promote this stuff. So, you know, when we understand what's going on, that, you know, it's irrelevant to sit back it makes no sense to repetitively say the same things over, and for 1,000 people to say the same things over. So what I'm here to say is, if you want better race relations, number one, start with your educational system. And critical race theory, that's something set up by, you already know who. It ain't even set up by black people. They're being used as puppets to push this agenda. But the real agenda is correction of history books. Tell the real stories of what you have in your history books. Don't pick and choose what you want to tell this story because it's based on the truth, but because if there's more to the story than it's based on the truth, but it is a straight out lie. Start correcting these histories, as well as start screening these teachers. You say to yourself, We should be screening law enforcement and everything else. We should be screening these teachers, and as well, which is going to be number 3, for minority black people and people of color. Go after your own. Because if this war, and I'm speaking only on the part of black Americans, if this war is a racial war, and we know that this is taking place, then we know that the people who are doing the speaking for us ain't us. Ain't us. Remember that. So if they've begun something towards us, we need to go after everyone. And for Candace Owens, like I say, I agree to disagree with you, but let's go after. And I'm going to continuously, I've been talking about Black Lives Matter since Black Lives Matter started. I told people what happened when I went to rally in New York. Violated, the rules and regulations to get there. Only to find out that they had people that was within that group. And if you go back to the video, it tells you that the people that was with us, some of them had guns. And they were sitting there purposely trying to cause issues. And that's when my eyes were open to see that, this is a setup. Go back and watch the video. So like I say, I don't sit back and say things just to say them. You know what I mean? I put my life on the line for my people. And there's videos that I've done that prove that I've gone up against this type of institution. From young age all the way up through. So this is not something that's new to me. It's new to you because you believed in something that they sat back and told you. So for us, again, you want change? Number 1, you start with your educational system. If you're going to put a story in that book, let that story be the truth and let it reflect the truth. Not half truths, not half a story, the full story. And then secondly, you challenge your religious centers. Because anyone who sits there and says that they are a Christian or they are a Muslim and you can pull a gun up and you can hurt another individual, then you have not had God in you. Because God didn't sit there and kill your kids. So what gives you the right to kill someone else's? So we got to get rid of these false guys, get rid of all this stuff. We have to realize that Satan himself has been running this earth. Ever since the start of this religious crusade where they've entrapped the world in. He put himself up and he set up his own throne. So it does, like I say in my videos, it doesn't matter what you think. Everything that I've been saying has been coming true. And for me to say that everything has been coming true, and not just me, other people are saying it too. So it's not some special gift that we have or some kind of conspiracy type thing. No, our eyes are open. And we'll take the time to read a book. Instead of listening to what that 18-year-old did, where he only listened to one small part of what black people was going through that might have been true, but he didn't listen to the rest of the truth that went with it. So it's too late for us to say try love. And the reason it's too late for us to say try loving one another is because we've all been corrupted. We're all deceiving one another. So this is what allows that snake in the grass to slither through. Because he can avoid being noticed by detection. Because you're so preoccupied with everything else and believing in a false reality. When the reality hit when this kid showed up in that parking lot. And the reality hit when this kid showed up in that parking lot. And the reality hit when this person showed up in that parking lot. So reality was the people that sat back and thought that, oh, yeah, he's not really going to do it, but yeah, keep going, say what you're saying, you're right. He hit that parking lot and that went out the window. People on corporate, oh, look, this post was flagged, he's saying some really terroristic stuff. He's not going to do it, he's just talking. Corporate. Until he reached that parking lot. So, we have to realize that, this is a war, and the war has been going on. And, when most people that are looking at this, they're looking at January 6th was supposed to be the beginning of that civil war. So that manifesto, that 180-page manifesto he might have wrote that one, but it's only a copy of a greater copy that is being sent out to all these people and all these groups around the country and around the world. So we need to wake up, and I'm just saying that I'm tired of being shut, but I'm also tired of being shut down by my own people who don't want to listen to rhyme or reason, who don't want to understand that, that what is existing upon us is because we're not holding the people, these puppets that they put into positions to run us. We don't even like, think about the Supreme Court justice, the woman who just became the Supreme Court justice. They sat there and ran through her like a fine-tooth comb before they allowed her to, a seat on that bench. Why we don't do that to our black leaders? Why we didn't do that with Obama? Because he got more dirt than anybody that I know. But yet still we look at him as like we praising him. Look up his interaction with Muammar Gaddafi. Look up his interaction with Muammar Gaddafi. Oh, you didn't know he knew him? Oh, I guess you don't know your history. and Hillary Clinton as well. Throw her in the mix, because both of those names will be synonymous before anyone on this planet even knew who Obama was. So, like I said, do what it do, but also know that the reason this war is taking place is because it's the same people who sold us into slavery, which is the same ones who are running around here today, which is the Black Moors. The Black Moors of Morocco and the Black Moors of Spain. They're the ones who sold us into slavery. And the reason they sold us into slavery is because your Bible is written about you. But then still, if you ask anybody what vision of what races do they see in that Bible when they read it, they sit back and they're going to show you somebody who looks European. If that ain't the biggest brainwash scam, then I don't know what is. So we have to realize that we've been broken up while we worried about Tyrone and oh, why did this woman want a man with 6 figures? Okay, keep on cooking in the barbecue, keep on fighting in the backyard while they're emptying out your house through the front. And that's just not one race or all, because we all pay the price. The price that kid paid is that he loses his freedom because he was misled. So now he has no choice but to turn back, because now they're going to put him on a pedestal, so now he has to be that way to his life. So now you answer the question of why he was taken alive. It's because they put people like this on a pedestal. It's the things you don't see. It's the same reason why the last time a white man went and killed black people, it was the corrections that sat back. He never even spent time in his cell. They bought him food from the outside world. He could make phone calls whenever he wanted to make phone calls. He had free access to the whole wing that he was on. He was a hero in prison until it was exposed what was going on. So this kid is no different. So, we have to wake up and stop looking at the people in your office or in your store or in your supermarket or wherever, and sit back and take those little light-hearted comments that are racist and blow them off as it is nothing. Speak now, because our lives depend on it. And it's like my father told me, I'd rather be dying standing up than to die on my knees and pleading for somebody to help me. I'm going to talk you into doing what you're doing. I'm going to make you do what you're doing. Ain't no sitting back talking about please, please, please. I know you are, because you're going to see me on the other side, because that's who we are. And they know this. They've known it from the start. And it's not just Europeans, it's all races. They've been knowing who we actually were. And if this doesn't prove it to you, I don't know what will. But by knowing it, you have to make changes in your life. And you have to reevaluate some of the relationships that we have. When people see what you condone and what you don't condone, the world changes. They start to think. So I want to let everyone go. I just had to say that out for the rant, because like I said, we got to wake up. It's hard for me when I see people who are awake, they know what's going on, and then they run back. But, we can't do that anymore, especially when that event is one of many that have been taking place, and they're becoming more and more frequent. And they're getting closer and closer to your front door. So be safe, everyone. The summertime is here. Be safe. Be the best person that you can be. And remember, stand what you condone, what you don't condone. I don't care how long you've known a person. You know what I mean? If you were questioning about some of the things, but you put it off because you saw some kind of benefit in listening to the rhetoric, you're gonna have to change up, because think about how many of his friends were benefiting because of listening to the rhetoric. But hey, he had the car on the block, so he was able to drive everybody around. Or he knew how to do this, so he was able to help people out and always be available. But he had these extreme comments that he would make. So I would rather get someone to work on my car or work on my home who's going to do it for a cheap job, but yet still I can put all this stuff aside. This is what this kid faced right here. No one sat back and told him what was going on was wrong. They all sat back and allowed it to happen. So this is what tells you to say, I can't do it no more. Wake up. Wake up, people. And especially with the people of Pure Light, continue to do what you do. Now we have to really start to begin to ramp up things, because we know that this is here and now it's real. So with that, everyone, be safe. Be very safe. And enjoy life, because you only have one, and enjoy it. So like I said, nobody knows the day, the time, or the hour, but it should not stop you from being the best person that you can be and receiving the full benefits of life. But we also have to take into consideration when we're in a large area, because remember, these people like large gatherings. So then we have to know, and we see someone that doesn't look right, that's not to say that they're going to do anything. Just go in the other door instead of going in the door that you're following the person. You know what I mean? Just be aware and purify yourself by, getting rid of all the negative energy, because when you're filled with positive energy, you can feel those vibrations from a person. You can feel the vibrations, and it literally will, make like a wall. You'll walk and you'll be like, oh, something ain't right. Let me go back. You know what I mean? And then something may not happen. But it's the fact that you relied on that security system that it hasn't failed you yet. So now you have to say to yourself, what if, when they say, oh, wait, something don't feel right, I'm going back. And be like, oh, man, that's just me being ignorant. Let me go in there. And something does happen. So just because nothing happens doesn't mean that your senses aren't working. They are working. Maybe something that didn't happen was supposed to happen to you. So trust in your senses, trust in your light, people. Be the best people that we can be, and let's try to be positive towards one another, because a lot of everyone on this earth has been in some way, shape, or form mentally corrupted. And they might function on a level that they might interpret things, or you might think that they're interpreting things, but inside their head, you don't even know what they're thinking. You're just going based on appearance and facial expression. The mask, the avatar, the mask. When a person speaks, it's from here and here. So if you can understand these two things within yourself, you can understand that same thing within the next person. So with that, peace and blessings.